Behind every wound, a strength lies hidden, waiting to rise. When we look back on our life's journey, we often realize that what we once saw as weaknesses are actually the key foundations for rising from adversity. If we step into the world of shinobi in the Naruto series, we discover a profound lesson on how wounds, initially felt as sources of suffering, can be transformed into strengths that drive change. Within every battle and every tear lie the seeds of forgiveness and empathy, ready to grow and flourish. Naruto Uzumaki, the main character of this series, grew up in a harsh environment filled with stigma and loneliness. From a young age, he had to endure ridicule and misunderstandings due to the presence of Kurama, the nine-tailed fox, sealed within him. This deep emotional wound became the driving force behind his determination to prove that he was not a symbol of destruction, but a source of strength and hope. The story of Naruto teaches us that every wound, whether caused by injustice, neglect, or disappointment, is a blank page that we can fill with a tale of courage. In real life, we often carry old scars that make us feel defeated. However, just as Naruto used his pain to train himself and become stronger, we too have the potential to transform suffering into a force that propels us forward. One of the most touching moments in the Naruto series is when Naruto saves Gaara, a figure initially known as his arch-enemy trapped in darkness. Gaara, who had been consumed by pain and loneliness due to his grim past, finds a glimmer of hope when he meets Naruto. With extraordinary courage, Naruto does not see Gaara merely as an opponent, but as someone capable of healing through empathy and understanding. It is Naruto's empathy that paves the way for transformation. Instead of holding on to grudges or deepening existing wounds, he chooses to understand Gaara's sorrow and suffering. In doing so, the scars left by conflict gradually turn into a bridge for healing, where trust and hope slowly replace the darkness of the past. Not only Gaara, but Naruto's journey is also filled with moments where he faces formidable enemies like Nagato and Obito. These two characters, once trapped in a cycle of hatred and suffering, eventually find their path to redemption through forgiveness. For Naruto, forgiveness does not mean forgetting the wounds, but rather releasing the burdens that bind the soul so it can soar higher toward freedom. When Naruto forgives, he creates space for both himself and others to change. Within every act of forgiveness lies a transformative power capable of breaking the chains of violence and resentment. This reminds us that in everyday life, letting go of pain through forgiveness not only eases mental burdens, but also opens new possibilities for more harmonious and compassionate relationships. Forgiveness is a painful process, yet it is a path for the soul to rise again from despair. The friendship between Naruto and Sasuke demonstrates the immense power of forgiveness in transforming a person's life. Sasuke, who had long been trapped in a cycle of revenge and hatred, eventually finds the opportunity to rediscover himself through Naruto's sincere friendship. Despite their journey being filled with inner conflict and clashes, Naruto never stops believing that Sasuke still holds the potential to change. Their friendship is proof that even when wounds take the form of deep hatred and resentment, the presence of a friend who understands and forgives can change everything. A friendship built on mutual understanding serves as a strong foundation for weathering life's storms. Just like in the real world, having a friend or mentor who can see the good behind inner turmoil can be a turning point that defines a person's rise from darkness. One of the most intriguing internal conflicts in Naruto's story is his struggle with Kurama, the nine-tailed fox that resides within him. Here, metaphorically, we are confronted with the duality within human nature, the shadows of the past and the hidden potential for light. Initially, Kurama's presence symbolizes chaos and destruction, but over time, Naruto learns to make peace with his own darkness. This process teaches us that we don't need to fight the darker aspects of ourselves with brute force. Instead, through understanding, acceptance, and self-forgiveness, we can transform that power into positive energy. Kurama becomes a metaphor for every trauma or pain we carry, a force that, if channeled correctly, can drive us to become stronger and wiser individuals. The lessons we learn from Naruto are not only relevant in the realm of fiction, but are also highly applicable to everyday life. Every individual, without exception, faces wounds, whether from broken friendships, failure, or deep loss. However, as Naruto demonstrates, we have a choice: to let those wounds hold us back or to transform them into strength, rising and creating positive change. Empathy allows us to see the world from a broader perspective. When we strive to understand the suffering of others, we open ourselves to the possibility of spreading kindness. Forgiveness, on the other hand, is the key to liberation, not only for others, but most importantly for ourselves. By forgiving, we free ourselves from the toxic cycle of hatred and negativity. Imagine if every wound we've ever endured was transformed into a lesson that propels us forward. Picture how beautiful the world would be if every conflict could be resolved through understanding and deep compassion. Naruto teaches us that even the darkest forces have the potential to become sources of light, if we have the courage to embrace them and turn them into strength. How can we apply these lessons in our daily lives? Take time to reflect and identify old wounds that still linger in your heart. Ask yourself, what truly hurt me? How can I transform that pain into motivation to move forward? Try to listen to others' stories and emotions without judgment. Every person carries a deep story behind the smile they show. By understanding their journey, we learn that suffering is a part of life's path that shapes us into stronger individuals. The process of forgiveness is not easy and does not happen overnight. Start with small steps. Forgiving does not mean forgetting, but rather accepting that every individual, including ourselves, has weaknesses. Let forgiveness be the foundation for emotional freedom. Turn wounds into motivation to keep learning and evolving. Every challenge, every failure, when processed wisely, can become a stepping stone towards success. Remember, true strength does not come from the absence of pain, but from how we overcome and learn from it. The Naruto series has given us many valuable lessons about courage, friendship, and most importantly, the power of forgiveness and empathy. From Gaara's journey of finding hope, enemies turning into allies, to the internal battle with Kurama that leads to self-acceptance, all of these convey the message that every wound holds the potential to transform into extraordinary strength. We all have the ability to transform past suffering into a strong foundation for a brighter future. Just like Naruto, who fought relentlessly despite his wounds, we too can find our way out of darkness by cultivating empathy and opening our hearts to forgiveness. Our world needs more courage to love, understand, and forgive, not only others but also ourselves. Let us take this story as a reminder that every wound we experience, no matter how small, holds the potential to become a source of strength waiting to be awakened. Start today with one small step, perhaps by forgiving someone, or at the very least, forgiving yourself for past mistakes. Remember, great changes always begin with small steps taken with courage. Take control of your life. Turn every wound into a stepping stone toward the best version of yourself. Share your story and transformation in the comments, because through sharing, we create opportunities to heal and inspire others. By opening our hearts and realizing that we are not alone, we can work together to make the world a place filled with understanding and compassion. That's it for today's video. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.